Hello once again, everybody. I'm Jake Luce, and welcome to my video coaching newsletter. The title of today's video coaching newsletter is Providing Value in College Recruiting. Great subject to talk about. I actually have a great email from a parent, and I also have a quote that I'm going to read that I wrote as usual, and then we'll get you guys out of here. The quote says, "Success in the college recruiting process comes down to direct, precise, and a well-planned strategy that begins far earlier than most expect. The minute you step foot on a high school campus as an athlete, your college recruiting process begins. College coaches, especially Division I programs, begin recruiting far earlier than most prospects and parents think. It is the player's job and responsibility to grow, develop, and mature as a player to show college coaches that he or she can provide value to a program at the college level. Providing value means that you must mold your current talent and skill set into something that can help a coach and college program win. Providing true value to a program means you're not only good on the field, but off the field as well. You're a good person to everyone, teachers, coaches, teammates, field staff, and all those that you come in contact with. Because remember, you are representing the team and the school on the front of your jersey, not just your name on the back. From a business standpoint, it's no different. Providing extreme value to your clients, customers, and investors will set you apart from other companies and people that are going after the same market you are. The old saying goes, under-promise and over-deliver. A simpler way to say that is to just deliver. If you do the right things for a long enough period of time, people will eventually take notice of the value that you are providing the marketplace. Being obsessed with your destination will help you navigate the twists and turns of the college recruiting process on the way to your ultimate goals of achieving your desired results." So let's go through this email. Again, this is an email, or the guy that wrote the email, his kid is a freshman. So any freshman parents or freshman, sophomore, underclassmen parents, this is a great video to watch. Even if you have a kid that's a junior or senior, all of these are good videos to watch because they're just good information. And if you're watching this video and you've made it this far, kudos to you, because you are getting education and knowledge that the people that you are competing against are not getting. There's so many players and so much competition out there for people that are trying to get to the next level. Parents, coaches, players. There's so many distractions out there, and so what you have to do as a player and as a parent is to provide value. Find ways to provide value to a college coach, and he'll eventually take a look at you. So let's go through this email. The email says, "Hi Jake, I'm a father of a freshman in high school.
There are no mulligans.
But I've been watching your videos for a couple years now." Good for you. We'll see if you've been paying attention. It says, "You are so different than the rest. A majority of recruiting agencies and showcases are meat markets that have been relentless in their efforts to get our money." Well, I've never heard them called meat markets before, but there's always a first for everything. He goes on to say, "I think our freshman is likely to be good enough to be among the 15 to 17% of high school ball players who play at some college level." Well, that's a good indicator right there that you have not been paying attention, because 15 to 17% is not true. In fact, the numbers are 2 to 5%. 2% will end up putting a jersey on for Division I school. I've talked about that plenty of times. And up to 5% of guys will actually end up playing college baseball, or in this case, college baseball at some level, whether that be Division I, II, III, NAIA, or junior college as well. The numbers are just not 15 to 17%. So I would suggest going back and looking at some of those videos, because I've never said that, and I won't say that because it's just not true. He says, "But the advice that we've gotten from 2 or 3 coaches who also recruited for a couple of years has been to target schools where he and we think he could play." Now that's true. That's what you want to do. You want to provide opportunities for your kid, who at this time, I'm guessing he's 13, 14 years old. He's not going to have the knowledge of really where to begin. So as a parent, it's your job to kickstart that process and helping him find schools that you think that would be good for him in 2 or 3 years. Now he's going to have to help you as well decide, because as a parent, it's not your decision. Ultimately, it's the prospect's decision. But if you feel that based on what his coaches are telling telling you and based on what the high school coach is telling you. Not parents, okay? I'm talking coaches that actually have some credibility. If they're saying that he has a chance to play at this school, and this school, and he's only a freshman, then that's a really good sign. If they're not really even talking to you or giving you the time of day, then there's obviously some development that needs to be had for your kiddo. Email goes on to say, he says, but the advice we've gotten from 2 or 3 coaches who also recruited a couple years has been to target schools where he and we think he could play. That's good. Where he would like to go, that's good. And to initiate contact as he hones his skills and prepares for showcases, etc. down the road. So you definitely want to hone your skills. You definitely want to develop as a player, because if you're not there skill level wise, no matter how much exposure, how many showcases that you've been to, college coaches are going to immediately write you off the list. They're going to look at you and they're going to see the way that your body moves, or they're going to see the way that you carry yourself, or how you dress, or your body language. So many different factors can play into it, but it doesn't take much for them to cross your name off the list. Once you're off somebody's list, then there's a good chance you're probably not going to get recruited by that school. So you want to provide value in more ways than just walking onto the field and being the biggest guy out there, because size does play a role, but providing true value is what comes from here and what comes from here. There's a lot of guys that can play this game, but not many of them have what it takes inside here and up top up here. And you can talk to any professional athletes, professional baseball players. Obviously, I've been there. I've talked to these guys, and the guys that are the best are the ones that are able to bring it day in and day out, bring that focus and that desire and that intensity, a la that value. They're able to provide that on a daily basis. Most of their success is not necessarily physical, but it actually comes from here because they're able to beat their opponent on a different level than just physically. Another piece of advice, he says, that we've gotten is that there's a lot more money available in academic scholarships than there is in athletic scholarships. Well, that's true. There are only 11.7 athletic scholarships at the Division I baseball level for an average roster size of about 34 or 35. It's a subject that's been talked about for years and years, and I'm not going to sit here and bag on anyone. The number is what it is. And so if that's what the NCAA has allotted, then we should be appreciative, and we should be thankful that we're getting that, as opposed to not being appreciative of anything, of any of these scholarships that are provided, because I was able to get through 5 years. It took me 5 years. I went 3 years of junior college, and then in 2 years at the Division I level. It took me 5 years to get my, both of my degrees, my associates and then my bachelor's. But the main thing is I came out of that process with no debt. And that's due to the scholarships that I was able to get. I didn't pay a cent for college my first 3 years, because all 3 of my junior college years I was able to get paid for by athletic scholarships. And again, if you haven't checked out any of the other videos as far as where that scholarship money goes, I suggest subscribing to the YouTube channel, Luce Prospect Group YouTube channel. And there's tons and tons of videos of newsletters that I've done and different interviews that we've done that'll actually tell you where that scholarship money is based on where you are in the college recruiting process, and what the best strategy is in order to help you get your hands on that scholarship money and eventually come out of this process, hopefully, like myself, with no debt. And the ability to do that is very rare. The average debt load for a senior is about $30,000 after college graduation. So unless you want to start your life in $30,000 worth of debt, and it doesn't happen to everybody, some is more, some is less, but unless you want to have that to start out your life, then you got to do something different. You got to educate yourself in this college recruiting process. There's so many different sources and ways that you can get educated. But in order to provide value, which is the subject of this video newsletter, you have to educate yourself. Because if a college coach talks to you, and then all of a sudden you are able to tell him things about his own program that maybe he doesn't even know, what does that say to that college coach? That not only does this kid have what it takes to perform on the field, but he also has what it takes here and here, because this is a kid that's interested in my program. This is a kid that I can trust to be around my kids. This is a kid that I can bring in that's going to fit right into what we're trying to build here, that's going to treat everyone with respect and to provide value on and off the field. Those are the kids that college coaches really, really like. So to end the email, he says, so he talks about the scholarship money. There's a lot of scholarships and academic scholarships. He says that student athletes often garner more scholarship money in support than athletes without good grades. So Absolutely. Yes. I've said it so many times in so many video newsletters. Grades are one of the first things that coaches ask about. Size is another one that's right up there. But size and grades, if you have both of those, and you have a chance to really do something special at the college level, because there's not a lot of guys with a really, really good size, and there's not a lot of guys with really, really good grades. So again, that just gets back to providing value. If you can provide value, you're going to have a chance, regardless of where you are in the country or how many showcases you've gone to or what summer team you've played for. You're going to have a chance to be successful because you're providing value to a college coach that he is not used to actually seeing. These college coaches go to these workouts and these showcases with 200-300 kids, all paying $300-400 a pop, and they realize that 99% of the guys that they see at these showcases are not going to be able to play for them. So whether or not it's a waste of time is something that the coach himself has to determine. But if you're trying to just get in front of a bunch of kids and to see guys that play baseball, that's a great way to go. But if you want to be more specific, if you want to be more goal-oriented, if you want to bring in guys that are going to be game changers in your program, you really have to focus in on the guys that are not getting recruited by everyone, everywhere, all over the country. You have to find the diamonds in the rough. The recruiting coordinators that work the hardest, that stay in the best touch, those are the guys that are going to be able to put together teams and dynasties, so to speak, where they can have success for a long period of time. And so providing those players from a business standpoint at Luce Prospect Group is amazing, because these coaches, they always come back and they want more. They want to recruit more because we're able to bridge that gap of communication between the family and the prospect and the coach. And that's where everything is lost, is all this communication goes in and one goes one way and the other goes the other way, and you don't know what to do. You try to schedule a visit, it doesn't work out. You got to talk with your parents, you got to talk with your girlfriend, you got to talk with the neighbor down the street. There's so many different things that can happen, but in this day and age, there's no reason not to communicate. You have every reason to communicate, and every way to communicate, and it's called your smartphone. You just use your smartphone and see what you can do to provide value to college programs. He says, "Thank you again for all your great videos. I will keep watching, and hopefully my kid has a chance to become a Luce prospect one day. Sincerely, Graham." Well, Graham, I appreciate the kind words. We're going to have to check you on that 15 to 17% that you were telling me, because I want you to educate yourself. I don't want you having facts that are not right, facts that are not going to get you and your kid to the next level, because this is a big decision. This is a big decision for a parent. It's a big decision for a coach. If you can find people that are going to provide value, if you can find people and coaches, for instance, that are going to help you get to the next level, then kudos to you. Because the good thing that this dad is doing is he's active in the recruiting process. He is trying to figure out answers to his questions. And another great thing about it is this kid's only a freshman. Now, if this kid was a senior and he was asking these same types of questions, you can imagine how the conversation might be a little bit different. But since he's a freshman, that's why we like to recruit guys at a young age, because not only can we mold them, but we can develop them. We can help them grow as a kid, as a player, as a person. And through that mentorship and that guidance, they end up playing really well. They end up going out on the field with that ultimate confidence, believing in themselves. And if you have a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid that believes in himself, typically he's going to be one of the better players on the field. So with that said, if you'd like to get my help personally, you can reach out to me via our website. You can also send me an email directly, jake@luceprospectgroup.com, if you'd like to possibly have an email featured on one of my video coaching newsletters. The other thing that you could do is you can go to our Facebook page, type in Luce Prospect Group in the search bar, and like the page. That Facebook page is really, really blowing up, and the reason is because we're providing value. So that's something that you can do in order to help get the most recent and the most updated information on the college recruiting process. With that said, thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you guys soon.